Geopolitical battle lines are being drawn. President Joe Biden has launched 2 new initiatives to rival China's international commercial ambitions. One is a global infrastructure program that looks to build physical and digital infrastructure connecting dozens of countries spanning Asia, Africa, and Europe. The other is a trade bloc in Asia Pacific that encourages Western businesses to relocate elsewhere in the region away from China. It took Washington more than 10 years to develop these 2 programs. Up until now, there was no credible alternative to Chinese investments. And though the details have yet to be negotiated, the 2 initiatives make up the hallmarks of Biden's foreign policy. So, what is this about? And can America beat China at its own game? Writing the new rules of the 21st century economy is not easy. At the G7 summit in June 2022, Biden and his counterparts launched the Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment, or PGII. At heart, the PGII is a reinvention of Biden's previously proposed Build Back Better World initiative, which sought to counter China's Belt and Road Initiative. Drafted in 2021, Build Back Better World gained little traction despite vigorous lobbying. The primary problem was gathering support for the initiative at home. Consequently, the lack of public commitment made it difficult for Washington to finance the project independently. Not surprisingly, Build Back Better World failed to pass in Congress. Now, roughly a year later, Biden has reached a new deal to spread the burden of financing by teaming up with the other G7 countries. The new plan is for the G7 nations to mobilize $600 billion over the next 5 years to invest in global infrastructure projects. Most of these projects will take hold in middle and low-income countries, and most projects will be geared towards 4 categories: renewable energy, healthcare, gender equity, and digital infrastructure. Biden says that the plan will allow participating nations to see the concrete benefits of partnering with democracies. Either way, the United States has pledged to contribute $200 billion to the initiative, while Germany, France, and Italy will raise 300 billion euros, and the remaining of the total grant will come from the United Kingdom, Canada, and Japan. How much funding will come from the private and public sectors is unknown. Though impressive, America's Partnership for Global Infrastructure initiative still falls short in funding compared to its rival, the Belt and Road Initiative. Beijing's infrastructure project doesn't have an official price tag, but China has invested about 800 billion euros across the globe, which surpasses the investments promised by the G7. And China isn't done yet. Trillions more dollars are expected to be invested through the 6 arms of the Belt and Road Initiative in the coming decade. What's more, according to official Chinese data, Beijing has signed more than 170 cooperation agreements with 125 countries and another 29 agreements with international organizations across Asia, Europe, Africa, and South America. Matching the size and scope of China's grand strategy will be tricky, even for the G7 nations. But perhaps the biggest issue with the PGII, the elephant in the room if you will, is that the United States is bad at infrastructure investing.